This is my own big little world. My name is Annika, and this is the podcast for a more vibrating life. With a great pleasure, I want to introduce my guest for today. She provides educations and holds space for people all around the world. She is a Tantra teacher and have her own Tantra school and also have her own Tantra festival in Greece every year. We talk about when she met Osho as a 17-year-old girl and how her spiritual and tantric journey started. And she has been on this path for 46 years now. We will also talk about how to put sex and meditation together. We talk about attachment and how attachment looks different for a man and for a woman. We talk about how to use Tantra to find higher level of consciousness and healing. We talk about the womb and the cervix and share techniques and the meditation you can do at home with your partner to get deeper into your relationship. And we also talk about how we can dedicate ourselves to practice Tantra at home. Warmly welcome, Ma Ananda Sarita. So right now we are sitting in the studio at Ängsbacka. The Ängsbacka Tantra Festival is going on and we are here together with 900 other people. In the studio today I have with me one of the world's experts about Tantra. And it's a big honor and it's so beautiful to have you here, Sarita. Warmly welcome.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be with you.
So I want to start to ask you, what is Tantra for you?
Tantra is such a deep and vast subject, very important for human beings to learn, to experience. And I'd like to start by just speaking about the meaning of the word Tantra. It's a Sanskrit word, and in Sanskrit every word has several meanings depending on how you are using it. It's a very profound language. So the meaning of the word Tantra is to weave. Imagine that you are weaving a cloth. You have vertical thread, you have horizontal thread. You're weaving these together. And this creates the whole cloth. And this is pointing to something very important for the human being, namely, that the verticality within us, the vertical thread, represents our spiritual being. The horizontal thread represents our animal nature, our hedonism, if you like. And of course, there's one school of thought that says life is all about simply eating and drinking and having fun. Nothing else matters. Then there's another school of thought that says life is all about spirituality. We should transcend the body. We should rise above our base impulses. And of course, when we have that kind of inner division, it creates a schizophrenic state within. Because we are embodied beings, we do have animal instincts within us. In fact, we are animals. And so we need to accept that we are both. We are divine beings who are embodied, a soul embodied, and we are also a body who has a soul. And when we accept this and we start exploring this fact with awareness, it leads us into more of a holistic experience of life, where we can really enjoy all that we are. We can let go of that schizophrenic attitude which divides us, creates stress inside. And many people are afraid, oh, but if I go into those base instincts, I will lose the way. I will lose my humanness, my consciousness. So the trick is to bring awareness to your humanness. Bring a meditative awareness to everything that the human being is. And then you will experience the divine nature of being in this body on this earth. So this is one of the meanings of the word Tantra. Another meaning is methods of raising consciousness. And that indicates to us that Tantra is based in methods. It is a science, in fact. You practice the method. By going into the method, you will awaken your own living understanding or awareness that comes through that practice. You will awaken your own innate genius, in fact, through your emotional intelligence, through your senses, and through your embodied experience. And there are literally hundreds and hundreds of Tantra methods which have been developed by masters of Tantra down the ages. Those methods are still very much accessible, very much alive. And in today's world, we can tap into those and we can know the bliss and the ecstasy that the past Tantra practitioners have known and have written about in so many different Tantra scriptures. Then there's another meaning which is also very important. Tantra also means transforming poison into nectar. This is very important to understand, that Tantra is not afraid of anything that the human being is. You can enter into Tantra ecstasy through any portal, whoever you are in this moment. Maybe you are having anger, maybe you are having lust, maybe you are in a state of bliss. Wherever you are right now is the door. And if you are having some kind of situation in your life which people normally consider to be toxic, like toxic emotions, etc., you can bring Tantra methodology to this, and you will see it naturally transforming into its divine potential. Because everything in life is divine if we but know how to see it or how to open to that. So this is an incredible gift, and all of these meanings are contained in that one word, Tantra.
If you would describe Tantra in 3 words, what words would you choose?
Sexuality, love, and spirituality. We are, in essence, weaving together these qualities, and through that we can experience Tantra.
Me and the listeners are very, very curious about you, of course. And if you want to describe yourself in a few words, what would you like to tell us?
Well, I'm a devotee of Osho. I'm a lover of life. I'm completely devoted to spiritual awakening for individuals and for this world. And I firmly believe that every human being has the potential to know bliss while in this body, in this life. And it's my mission to help people to understand how to do that, how to open to your innate bliss, your innate wisdom, and your innate divinity. So I am in service of collective healing, in a sense. But of course, in order to heal the collective, we need to heal the individual. And we can see by what's happening on our planet that there is a kind of sickness that's invaded the human psyche and lifestyle. And then that's being mirrored in how we are treating the planet. The way we treat the planet is the way we treat ourselves. One mirrors the other. And so the first step is to heal ourselves. And having investigated that very deeply through years of meditation, working on myself through meditation, Tantra, and holistic healing, I came to understand that the true problem that humans carry is the lack of connection with ourselves, with another, and with our planet. So if we can heal that lack of connection, many other things will heal automatically. If you look deeply into human anguish and suffering, it's always something about connection and lack of connection. So this is what we need to address. And Tantra is the perfect vehicle for that. Tantra is not afraid of relationship. It says yes to human relationships of all kinds. And that, yes, we can bring awareness to human relationship. And so, as far as I know, Tantra is the healing that's needed at this time. And I've always had an interest in this for as long as I can remember. And so now I'm living my passion and my interest to bring healing and wholeness to everyone.
One of your main teachings are to learn out Tantra as a meditation, or to learn out Tantra in different meditations, many different meditations. And I want us to talk about how can we bring sex and meditation together.
About meditation, it's very interesting that when I was a child, I was raised as an atheist. My family was atheist or agnostic. That means, some persons in the family said, I don't know, maybe there is a God, maybe there is no God. And some other person said, there's certainly no God. And in fact, when I was a child, I was punished for experimenting with what is prayer. So I was punished for that. And so I somehow knew about meditation before learning about it. Because I used to sit in nature and I would try to discover what is the essence of life, what is the essence of creation. I want to find out. And I remember when I was 9 years old, I just said, okay, I'm sitting in this spot till I find out because I can't wait anymore. And I just sat and I went in and looked for what is the essence of life. And suddenly some force pulled me inside deeper. And I felt like I was going down a dark tunnel, like a kind of vortex, and traveling at incredible speed. And then suddenly I found myself into what I understood was the center of the universe. Of course, there was no I in that scenario. And just being in that pulse and that essence, I started hearing the sound Om. But I had never been told about Om. I knew nothing about Om or meditation or anything. But I started hearing this soundless sound, and I came to understand that the essence of life is this. And I was sensing that, of course, sound is made of vibration, so there's a certain movement in it. And because of that experience, I decided that rather than going into sound, I would go into movement because there was a pulse within this sound. And so then I decided I will go into dance. Through that, I will discover how to live in this essence. And so dance became my meditation. And when I went to India, I was looking for a dance master, and I met Osho. He introduced me to Tantra meditation, and that's how I started on the path of Tantra. But I would say that meditation was already very alive inside of me. I just had to discover the outer form of it, and I fell in love with the outer form as well as the inner experience. And I'm a great lover of methods of meditation, hundreds of methods. And I'm also a channel, and methods pour through me as needed for any particular situation. So meditation is my way of life. And it's also important to understand that meditation doesn't have to be something very dried up, because often people think, our meditation means you just sit stiffly and
Mm.
you witness. Yes, witnessing is the essence of meditation, but that can be applied to so many different elements of our life.
Mm.
And in Tantra, of course, we're weaving together meditation and love, with the understanding that meditation is more the masculine element within us, witnessing consciousness. Love is more the feminine element within us, love, devotion, service. And there are actually two paths of spirituality. One is meditation, one is bhakta, devotion, love. But in Tantra, we bring these two together. And this is the Tantra experience, when you bring that masculine and feminine together within. So in any Tantra meditation, there's a very strong likelihood that you will be blending these two elements, meditation and love.
Can you please give us an example so we understand it more clearly? What exactly is the difference?
One way that you could understand it is meditation or witnessing is like being in the center of the cyclone. And that's Shiva consciousness. And the cyclone that's going on around that is Shakti, the feminine. And that's the whole phenomenal manifestation of life, the whole drama, the play of energies, the play of emotions also. Many spiritual paths have denied the feminine. They don't want to be bothered with the emotional aspect that is there in the human being, and also the sexual frenzy that is there in the human being. So there's a tendency to just cut that off or block it and try to transcend. And of course, Tantra will embrace both of these elements. The witnessing, the pillar of light, which is symbolized by the lingam. The lingam, the phallic symbol, means pillar of light. And then also worshipping the yoni. Yoni is the word for the female genitals. It means sacred place. So we're bringing together the pillar of light and the sacred place. And when that happens, we have the experience of Tantra. When we do Tantra practice, for example, in the couple, we will always begin by honoring the woman as divine and the man as divine, and honoring each other as sacred beings. So we pierce through the persona, the personality, and we try to contact the deeper essence within each being.
Maybe we can say something more about that. If the listeners want to start at home with something, with some practice, if you have a partner or if you don't have a partner, how will we do then?
We would start by creating sacred space. We want to have a safe and sacred container, and that already changes the vibration. So, for example, if you want to practice with a lover, you can create sacred space in your bedroom. That's one possibility. And that means the space should be clean. There should be no clutter, because everything you have in your space carries a certain vibration, and that will influence your space. So clear of any clutter, turn off any television. In fact, I would cover any television that might be there with some beautiful cloth or something. Make sure there's not going to be any disturbance from mobile phone or somebody coming and banging on the door, whatever. Create that safe, sacred space. Maybe you want to put on music. Very sweet, meditative music is very good. The sound of dolphins, nature sounds. Maybe Deuter is a musician I recommend for sacred space. His music is really exquisite for supporting meditation. And maybe some incense or essential oil in an essential oil burner. Maybe a bedspread which helps you to feel very sacred, whatever that is for you. And then once you've established your sacred space, then you create an opening, a safe container for meditation practice in the couple. And for example, you can kneel opposite each other. You put your hands in Namaste and look into each other's eyes. Namaste is a very powerful gesture where you put the palms of your hands together in front of your heart chakra. And this gesture symbolizes the meeting of the right and left sides of the brain, meaning you're helping the inner male, inner female to meet. And in that meeting, you are recognizing the divine in yourself and in the other. It literally means I bow down to the divine within you. So just making this gesture is very powerful. Looking into each other's eyes and endeavoring to see God and Goddess. So already, just in that opening, a lot has happened. And once you have looked into the eyes, you've acknowledged God and Goddess, Namaste. You may like to raise your arms to the sky, both of you, and call in blessings from the divine. That could be from your own higher self, maybe from some angel, archangel, or ascended master, or maybe from your guru. So just from higher consciousness, you are calling blessings onto this union that's going to take place. So this is creating a very safe and sacred container. And then you're going to bring awareness into your practice, awareness and love. That means you're equally honoring the masculine and the feminine. Now, in sacred union, there are many possibilities of practices you could do. So it depends on the level of experience and also on what you would like to achieve through this practice. I myself have practiced literally hundreds of different methods. You know, I teach 7 levels for couples, so that's 500 hours of practice in the art of Tantra for couples. So there are different things we could do, but I'm just going to describe a process which is very helpful for couples to understand. In life, we have naturally occurring waves of yin and yang. Everything is moving between yin and yang every moment. For example, when you're awake, that's more yang. When you sleep, it's more yin. When there's light, it's more yang. When there's darkness, it's more yin. When you breathe in, it's yang. When you breathe out, it's yin. So these waves of yin and yang are continuously occurring throughout our life. And in sex, what tends to happen in our modern day society is to focus exclusively on yang, thereby leaving out the experience of yin. And that will be unsatisfying for both partners, because we can only be deeply fulfilled if we embody both of these experiences. So in the yin and yang meditation, you're giving equal space to yang, equal space to yin in your lovemaking. Once you've opened your sacred space, you may decide to either start with yin or with yang. If you want to start with yin, you would go into what we call the scissors position. So you can plug in together, lingam and yoni, even without an erection, and just be together in silence and dropping down into void space. It doesn't mean you're falling asleep and snoring. You're very present with each other, but you're going into deep, deep relaxation. And then there may come a wave of yang, where the energy starts moving, and the powerful quality of yang, of awakening passion, starts coming. And then you go with that.
And that is very important, that you do nothing.
Nothing. Just dropping into
Just
void.
dropping, yeah.
This can create fear for people because void is similar to death. When you sleep, you're going into deeper sleep. That's void space, similar to death, dreamless sleep. The whole goal of yoga, for example, is to go into dreamless sleep and yet you're awake. This is called samadhi. So we're going into a kind of samadhi state together, plugged in. This is amazing. If you're in yang, you're allowing the full fledged passion to come through you, and yet it is a meditation. So you're letting it come to a certain point. Before ejaculation, you drop into yin again. So it's suggested by the ancients that if you do 3 cycles of yang followed by yin, or yin followed by yang, you will attain to what is called the great life-renewing union, where there will be no loss of energy through this sexual activity. You will rather recharge each other, because you've opened the flow of yang and the flow of yin so profoundly that there will come what is called the tantric circle, where you don't know anymore who is the male, who is the female. You're both recharging each other ad infinitum. And it's also possible to start from yang, for example. You're feeling a lot of passion, so you want to start from the heat, the arousal, and you play with that, you enjoy that. It's highly recommended 20 minutes of yang, 20 minutes of yin, and 3 cycles of this. That will be a 2-hour practice. Of course, if you even only do 1 cycle, you will already be greatly benefited. But when people go deeper into the practice, they do 3 cycles.
This is the perfect homework.
It's mind-blowing. It's said that Shiva and his consort Parvati were practicing this for 6 hours. So they would do many cycles, 7 cycles of yin and yang. And like this, you can literally make love for hours, because you're just going into waves. Now, I've talked to many couples who said, oh, but I'm already doing this practice. So I asked them, okay, how long do you do yang? Or 15 minutes? And how long yin? 1-2 minutes. So please understand, the only thing that will be deeply fulfilling sexually, equal yang, equal yin. What happens in the normal sexual activity is that the woman is lagging behind the man in her possibility to go into her orgasmic flow. Because it's been found by scientific studies, for example, the studies of Masters and Johnson and other sex scientists, who have found out that the male can be ready for penetration and even ejaculation within 3 minutes. For the woman, it takes 20 minutes before she's ready for penetration. So this is a discrepancy between male and female. Now, the opposite is also true when we come to the point about ejaculation, that after the man ejaculates, he needs 20 minutes to recharge himself. That's because he just released about 500 million sperm. The woman, on the other hand, after 1 orgasm, she is ready for more orgasms. She stays on the orgasmic plateau for another 20 minutes. So this difference between the men and the woman needs to be recognized by men and women, not try to blame the other one for how they function, because that's stupid. God has created us like that. And just to understand this is how it works between men and women. And then try to find some way to come into the middle where you can meet. So this brings us back to the importance of yin. When you go into yin and you are connected in yin, the feminine will expand. Full space to expand, expand, expand. And because she's in sacred union with her partner and in a deep relaxation, her yin will automatically open into its fullness like a flower. When you go into a second yang, where you're moving up towards the peak, She will be connected with a man. She will be able to be at the same level of intense passion as he can feel, because her yin has been owned. It has been accepted. It has been reveled in. And this will equally benefit the man, because it will help him, instead of going immediately towards a goal, to relax, to open, to be present, and then he will be able to last much longer in the sexual act as a result of embracing the yin. It's beneficial for both partners to open to the yang and to the yin equally. So this is one methodology among hundreds. One thing I'd like to say is that this is one of the methods that I'm sharing in my online course, Master Lover. You have the opportunity to go through that online course and to learn and to be guided into certain practices. And this can be of a wonderful benefit. But otherwise, the basic instructions are as I was outlining before. And then you can start either from yang or from yin, and 20 minutes. And then before ejaculation, you go into the opposite. So if you start with yang, then somewhere when you start coming closer to a peak, before you go over the edge, just slip into the valley, into yin. In the valley, no words, silence. You are plugged in together. You may have eye contact or closed eyes as you wish. There is intimacy between you, and you're just dropping in together. And it is a meditation. And you allow yourself to drop into void. Now, one of the issues that can come up in this is that sometimes the man is very afraid that if he goes into yin, he will lose his erection. And he doesn't know if he will get it back again. Just remember that nature always wants to go in waves. So the deeper you go into the yin, the better erection you will have afterwards. Nature wants to create that balance of yin and yang. It will bring your yang back. And so just let go. And one of the most mysterious and exquisite experiences that any couple can have is when you're resting in yin. The man's lingam is inside the woman, but in a soft state. Or maybe he fell out a little bit, so he's just there at the entrance. Whatever it is, it's okay. And then nature itself starts bringing this yang, and like by magic, you're not doing anything, and suddenly some little erection starts, some juices start flowing in the yoni, and very naturally the wave starts moving towards yang. This is an incredible feeling when it happens. Pure magic. You are sitting by the side of God, watching how God is working through your body, and it feels miraculous and amazing.
So if you do this every day, like a practice or like a meditation, what is your experience? What's happening if we do this every day and give this time like a dedication?
Heaven on earth, heavenly life. Because what you do in Tantra practice in your bedroom will carry into your daily life. The waves and the repercussions will flow through everything. Because we are, at our roots, sexual beings. We came into this body through sex, and we have sexual energy. So we need to honor and embrace that and enjoy that. And that in turn does have a very profound effect. You must have seen people who are in love, how that incredible, ecstatic love energy is touching everybody they come in contact with. So it does have very profound repercussions. And just in terms of doing it every day, like a lot of times people make a little mistake, so I want to explain. You find something that's amazing and you think, wow, I'm going to do this every day for the rest of my life. But we have within us these different aspects, and we need to honor that. We have the person who would like to go into spiritual discipline and experience inner ecstasy, expanded states of consciousness. We also have in us a couch potato or a hedonist who just wants to sit on couch and eat pizza and watch some movie, or go to a club and hang out and have a beer. So we have these different aspects. We need to honor that. We are both. So what I always recommend to couples is, if you find a meditation you love to practice in the couple, do it as a series. So you make a commitment. Okay, we're going to do this X number of times. We sit down with our calendar. We make love appointments. And we need to keep the love appointment no matter what. We have to be there. We have to show up.
Yes.
Even if you had a fight and it's time for the love appointment, you leave aside the fight and you go into the love appointment. So that much dedication is needed, that you are ready to evaporate your ego for that time that you're going into the love appointment. And you do this X number of times. It could be every day for 7 times or 14 times, whatever you like, or maybe twice a week, or maybe once a week, depending on your schedule. But you do X number of times, and then when you come to the completion of that practice, you drop it. And you be ordinary. Let yourself be a hedonist. Enjoy whatever you feel like in the moment and just be in that space. And sooner or later, because you've tasted the sublime depths and heights of Tantra experience, sooner or later, you and your partner will start feeling, oh, that was so nice when we were on the sunlit peaks, the Mount Kailash, experiencing Tantra. It was so exquisite. We had such a deep soul connection within our sexual experience. So maybe it's time to try a new series. And then you take a new series, a different series, and you start on a new evolutionary journey together. So this is what we do in the 7 levels for couples. People come for the course, and then they're there maybe 7 days, and they learn these X different kind of methods, and they practice just like a rehearsal. So they're doing the methods during the course, and then they go home and they have a certain number of homeworks that you need to do this practice X number of times. It's a prescription. And when they finish that, then they're welcome to come to the level 2. So if they don't finish their homework, they're not allowed to come back to the level 2. Because what I want to see is the couples evolving, rising in love. This happens through that dedication to the practice. And if somebody is not able to achieve that level of dedication, they cannot progress on the path of Tantra, because then they'll bring in all their old trips and problems and miseries that were dragging them down initially. And we want to evolve through that and come to a new space in the couple, where the couple can literally experience each other as divine beings.
It's so important what you say now, because I think for many people it's easy to go, to the workshop and have some experience, and then when you come home you fall asleep or get a little bit lazy and miss the whole thing. That if you want to go deeper in something or learn more, you need the practice. It's the same with yoga, meditation, running, or whatever. So you need to do the commitment to yourself or with your partner or lover.
Yeah. People need to learn to the importance of doing that self-practice, whether you're alone or you're in the couple. When I came to Osho, I was not in the couple. I was only 17 years old. And he started offering me Tantra practices to do on my own. So beautiful meditations that I was practicing. That went on for about a year. And then I met someone, and I got into a very deep relationship. and he was guiding us into Tantra practices for the couple. And so I've explored both aspects very, very deeply. You can do the practice no matter what your state is.
This is also so important what we talk about now, because if you don't have a partner or lover, or if you have a partner or lover, you can do a lot of practice at home. Because I think and hear many people, both women and men, in my work and private, many people who don't have a partner or lover and go into suffering because they think they can't do anything when they are alone. And the truth is that you can do a lot of practice by yourself, and this is also really self-love, so you can do a lot of tantra and energy work by yourself. So Sarita, can you please say something more about this?
It's important for men, but I would say particularly for women, because we have a womb. We are designed by nature to focus our energy around another, whether that is the husband, the child, or a god. So we always want to be focused on the other. We are creatures of devotion. And so if we don't have that other, we tend to feel somehow lost, or what is the point of my life? There's nothing wrong with it. We are designed like that by nature. It comes with having a womb. This is what I figured out. And also another fact that a lot of women don't understand, which I think is very important to mention, is that we are by nature addicted also to the masculine. There are components in the masculine sperm that are highly addictive for the woman. So if we receive the ejaculate of a man into our yoni, we will be addicted for 1 month. This is what will happen. It's a drug to us. And that's why women get very attached very easily to the man. He may be attached for up to 3 days. She will remain attached for 1 month.
After the ejaculation.
After the ejaculation. With the ejaculation.
If you don't have that, how is it then?
Then it's easier to detach. The same mechanics are at work, but it won't have the same addictive quality. So if you, for example, use a condom, the effect is less. You will have less of a tendency to get attached to that person. And I hear a lot of women blaming themselves for the fact that they do get attached, thinking they shouldn't. But that shouldn't, no, that's not existing in reality, because your body is designed to do just that. Nature wants you to get attached so that you will have a protector when you are pregnant, when you're giving birth, when you are raising the child. So wants you to get attached and bonded with a man. Attachment happens for the man also. It can happen depending on certain circumstances. That's a whole other discourse. But for example, if the woman has a baby and the man looks into the eyes of the child, that will activate his instinctual father within, the desire to protect and to nurture this child. So some men, they intuitively know that, and if they don't want to be a father, they avoid to bond with the child. It's very interesting. They somehow instinctively know that once they look into the eyes of that child, something will shift in them very powerfully. So it's a whole dance that nature is playing through us. I think rather than trying to change nature, what we need to do is to own how we're designed by nature, enjoy it as a play, as a lila, God's play. This is the meaning of lila. And bring awareness to it. Allow it, but with awareness. So we are moving into all of these things consciously. And this is what Tantra meditation is, to move into the thick of life with awareness and with love, with compassion towards ourselves, towards others.
What touched me now is the thing about attachment. because in this area of self-development and Tantra and these communities, and also for people out there, I think it's something really bad, about the attachment, and I can see many women blame themselves for this, and I can also see many men who is afraid of the attachment. So I want us to talk a little bit more about this because it's so really, really important.
It's very, very important because in today's world, of course, people are fed up about this whole forced monogamy, which is understandable because it comes out of loads of Christian conditioning and guilt about sex and many things that we've had to endure, being programmed in that way, not being open to our true flowing energy. So people are fed up and they want some other model of how things can be. And so the pendulum has swung, in a sense, to the other extreme, which denies the feminine. And I think it's very important that women just don't take on that package, which is actually coming from a more masculine orientation, and own our nature, be empowered in who we are, and let ourselves flow from the awareness of who we are as an empowered woman, rather than trying to copy men. The whole women's liberation movement failed, in my opinion. What we did is we said, so we are downtrodden as women. We don't like that state. So what are we going to do about it? We see that men are having a better deal. So let us copy men, and we will even compete with men and try to do it better than them. So this became a trap where women denied their own feminine power and tried to be like men. And then that means that you have taken away the magnetic attraction, because magnetic attraction relies on polarity, that you have a receptive pole, you have an active pole, and they are attracted together, and that is the magnetic attraction. If you have two positive poles, they can't meet. If you have two receptive poles, they meet, but there's no energy. So we have actually taken away that polarity by copying men. And so in Tantra, we try to enhance the polarity actually, and we take it as a play and as a joy that life has created these polarities. Let's dance with that and enjoy that magnetizing coming together. So what is needed is for women to discover what is woman's empowerment. And of course, I've devised a whole training for that for women, how to discover that. And to enhance our feminine nature, create that magnetism. And then once you understand how you function as a woman and you own that, you celebrate that, then you will find a very different scenario emerging when you meet a man.
Yeah, instead of hiding or feel shame or, everything, say yes to what is.
And one thing within that I think is very important to understand is difference between the male brain and the female brain. There are 2 books which are just amazing. I think everybody interested in sexuality, male-female dynamics should read them. It's called The Male Brain, and another book, The Female Brain, by Dr. Brisbane. I think that's how you pronounce it. In those books, she's describing, according to studies done on the male and female brain, that men have 2 different compartments in their brain. We use the word compartments for lack of a better explanation, but basically a man will look for a bonding, deep, intimate relationship in one of his compartments. In another compartment in his brain, he's looking for opportunist sex. So he wants to find some kind of sexual connection that's just momentary and has no deeper significance. The woman, on the other hand, is looking for a sexual connection which includes heart and love. And she is not wired to have opportunist sex. She's wired to have sex which connects to love. She does not have another box in her brain. So this is very interesting, that there is that difference between men and women. And maybe nature wanted for the man to spread his seed, to see where that seed will land and what will blossom the best. And so created this difference between men and women. While nature wanted woman to bond, to be nurtured and to be supported and to have a kind of bonded relationship. So there's a book called Why Men Want Sex and Women Need Love. Very, very good book. I recommend it. Also very humorous. So in there, the authors are describing that, like, oftentimes a woman will want to find a partner, a deeply bonding partner. So she will dress to make herself look very sexy to attract the partner. But if she dresses in a particular way, that will trigger the opportunist sex component in the man's brain. That the man is wired to always look at body parts, whether that's in his inner fantasy or outwardly. He wants to see body parts of woman, looking for that, checking out. So when he sees a woman exposing certain body parts in a certain way, it will automatically go into that opportunist sex part of his brain. And a woman showing herself in a different way will automatically go into a potential for deep, intimate relating. And it happens beyond mental cognition. This is something that is wired into our biology. It's not something we know consciously. This is what's happening. It just happened automatically. So it's very important that we understand how we function and just enjoy and play with that with intelligence. Do it with awareness. And as far as I know, Tantra is the only thing that bridges all these differences between men and women, all these discrepancies which are there, that we need to face and we need to own and we need to accept. So when we practice Tantra, the male and the female are honored equally. And this is so important. And I really feel for how women have been downtrodden for centuries. And I really want to see women coming out of that, finding our goddess essence, coming into our fullness. Equally, I would like to see men finding their true nature, because I don't believe men are programmed by nature to want war. I think men have been used because of the qualities of testosterone that are naturally in the male body. So these qualities have been harnessed and used by the war machine. It's not that men want war. So I think men have been manipulated for a long time, and that right now there's a huge search also in the masculine. What is my true place in this world, in this life? What am I doing here? How am I hardwired? And of course, I have my theory about that.
I also think about the listeners, if you want to start a practice and don't have a partner or lover to do it with, if you want to go to a deeper level of exploring Tantra.
When we come into individual practice, we have to understand that we have within us both the inner male and the inner female. If I'm in a female body, I also have an inner masculine. And if you're in the male body, you also have the inner feminine. There's a very beautiful Taoist meditation that I like very much, which is called Secret of the Golden Flower. And it was brought into the world by a disciple of Lao Tzu. And Osho speaks about it, and he also created a CD of music that can go with it, describe this meditation. And this is balancing the yin and yang within ourselves. So it's similar in a way to those peaks and valleys that I described, the yin and yang meditation in the couple. But this one is something very simple. You just imagine that your whole body has a central channel which is open. Now with every in-breath, you are breathing golden light through the crown chakra, down through your whole central channel, all the way to your feet. With every out-breath, you're allowing darkness to come from your feet all the way up to your head, to your crown. And you do that in cycles. In-breath, golden light, out-breath, darkness, for 20 minutes. 20 minutes is one brainwave cycle. So this will have a very powerful effect on your whole system. And it's recommended to do this either just before sleep, laying on your bed, or just upon waking in the morning. So it's done laying down. And it's also amazing if somebody, for example, has insomnia. You can do this when you wake up in the night and you can't sleep. Just do this meditation. It will balance your whole internal yin and yang energy, and you will have a very, very peaceful sleep. And it will also affect you in your daily life. You will start finding that you feel very balanced, very calm, very open, peaceful. It has a very, very beautiful effect.
I think we talked earlier about the practice or lovemaking between couples, and when the man get into the woman without erection. And for me, I can see that it's a lot of healing in that for many people, especially for the women. And something can also happen with the cervix for the women. So if we can talk a little bit more about that, because it's so beautiful.
This is something very special. It's connected to what we call the Tantric Circle. I spoke about the Tantric Circle doing yin and yang meditation. You can also achieve the Tantric Circle through penetration when the lingam is deep inside the yoni and the tip of the lingam is touching the cervix. But it's without this hard thrusting. It's more like a snaking or a waving movement, just enough to keep the erection there. And what's happening in this case is yoni is receptive. She's receiving the lingam, so she's the receptive pole. Lingam is penetrating. He is the more active or yang pole. Then when his lingam tip is touching the cervix, the tip will open and become receptive. Now, the womb center of the woman is a positive polarity. So, from the womb center, the woman is giving, and her womb will start releasing nectar through the cervix, and she will be in a giving state from that cervix. And the man will start receiving that through the tip of his lingam. So he's both penetrating and he's receiving. She's both being penetrated and giving. It's the first and second chakra union which is happening. And it will create a spin which goes faster and faster till finally you don't know anymore who is the male, who is the female. And this is one of the most ecstatic possibilities that exist for men and women. The phenomena of the soulmate happens when we have ecstatic union through all of our 7 chakras. But that's a whole nother subject. But even this meeting through the first and second chakra is already so sublime. You would wonder, is there another heaven possible? when we do couples tantra, we need to be prepared to experiment. That's one thing. And also to let go of our ego, to let go of our habitual ways of doing things. And one of the habitual ways of doing things comes through goal-orientedness, where we think, oh, I just want to satisfy my biological needs, so I just want to penetrate and come. So in Tantra, we are offered much more potential, many more possibilities for bliss and inner ecstasy. And of course, there's nothing wrong with genital orgasm. That's perfectly normal. And we can also experience the type of orgasm that happens when you allow energy to rise, moving in and up instead of down and out. And for that to happen, you need to let go of the goal and enjoy that movement, the inward movement of in and up flow of energy. And of course, that takes some practice in doing Tantra methods. And this is, of course, one of the points that's covered in Tantra workshops. If somebody is a very dedicated practitioner of Tantra, they will, of course, understand about how to open Kundalini energy, open the chakra system, open the central channel for the flow of energy inward and upward. And it's a skill that needs to be learned. Osho gives a very important talk about raising children, and in that he says that if you can raise your children in such a way that they learn meditation from a young age, they will already have opened that central channel. So by the time they reach puberty, automatically when they go into sexual expression, the energy will search that pathway of going in and out, connecting with source and expanded states of consciousness. And if you have not learned meditation as a child and you learn it as an adult, you will need to have perseverance and practice to open that central channel and to invite the energy in and up.
Because when you have that kind of experience, you also can feel like the God experience, or when you let the energy flow the whole way. Yeah,
when you let the energy flow, you can have different kinds of orgasms in every chakra. And if you open up the flow through all the chakra system, then you will experience cosmic orgasm.
Yeah, exactly.
And a prerequisite for cosmic orgasm is understanding the language of physical orgasm and really knowing the bliss and ecstasy that's possible through physical orgasm. And once you've learned that language, then cosmic orgasm becomes possible. So for people that think I will attain to cosmic consciousness by denying my sexuality, that is simply not true. It will not happen. You're fooling yourself, and you'll have to come back another life and go into sex and learn how to accept what has been given by existence, how to celebrate what has been given by existence. This is a prerequisite. We can't avoid this. We need to embrace all that we are.
Do you have like a life-changing moment in your life you want to share with us?
I can tell about a very beautiful experience I had with Osho. I had hitchhiked all through North America. I was born in California. Then I hitchhiked all through North America. Then I took a plane to England, and then I hitchhiked all through Europe, all through the Middle East, to India, looking for the essence of life. And I was thinking that when I start on a spiritual path, it will be very hard. I have to be very disciplined, and maybe I will find some guru in the Himalayas, and it will be very hard work. And then I met Osho in Mumbai. In those days it was called Bombay, and started dynamic meditation. But I was coming with this attitude, it has to be difficult, because that's what I had heard. I have to be ready, I have to be tough, climbing Mount Everest or something. So Osho was much more playful, and his path is very juicy. It's a lot of fun. Of course, you also need discipline, but it's a wonderful, expanded experience. So in one meeting with him, because in those days we could meet with him privately, he didn't speak, which was unusual. He just started softly caressing my body. And then that brought up from some very deep place a kind of anguish. And I started sobbing and crying, and he stopped and said, "What is happening?" And it blurted out of me from some very profound place, "I hate my body." And he continued caressing, and he said, "Love the body, love the body, love the body. It is through the body you will reach the divine." And in that moment, I took a 180-degree turn. Something just snapped inside of me, and all those lifetimes of striving to be beyond the body, to transcend, to go beyond sex, etc., the whole mountain collapsed. And I went in, started accepting my body, and even finding out that the body is the temple, that the body is the guru. And that brought me all the bliss and ecstasy that's possible. I found out that within this body is the whole universe. And indeed, in Tantra it's said that every cell of the body contains the whole universe. All we need to do is to go in with awareness, love, and we will find it. So this was a very powerful moment for me, and it set me firmly on the Tantra path. Love the body.
Love the body. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. And thank you for being here and sharing your journey and your big wisdom and everything. It's really, really beautiful. So thank you so much.
Yeah, I enjoy sharing. And this festival that we're in now is just so amazing. You know, we have 900 people here. It's really coming to full capacity. Tantra is spreading exponentially in the world, as it should. Of course, there's a lot of misconceptions about Tantra, and a person has to use their discernment to choose a path which will be serving them in the best way. And you can always trust your heart for that. Yesterday, somebody was asking a question in our question and answer session, how to know which path to choose in Tantra. I like to answer that with something that Osho said, that if you want to choose a master or a spiritual path or a job or a lover, there's one criteria. If your heart feels like it's expanding and growing wings, this is the right direction for you. If your heart feels like it's shrinking and being oppressed, that's a wrong path for you. Of course, maybe that will be a right path for somebody else, but for you, it's not working. So just trust your heart. Your heart knows. Your heart is connected to the great cosmic intelligence. So you can really trust it.
Thank you. If you also can say something about how we can find you.
My portal is called Tantra Essence, www.tantra-essence.com. And I also have a Facebook page. I offer trainings like the Tantra Mystic Massage training, then Goddess Essence training and Goddess Essence teacher training, Tantra Essence teacher training, so that's for both men and women, and Vigyan Bhairav Tantra retreat, where we do the 112 methods of the Vigyan Bhairav Tantra, 7 levels for couples, Sacred Sexuality group, where you work through the 7-year cycles around your sexuality, and Master Lover and Master Lover online course. So there's a lot happening through my portal. Also, I have a Kaula team. So there are people trained by me who are teaching all over the world. And so the Tantra Essence brand is expanding, and we're just trying to bring very high caliber Tantra to the world wherever we can.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you for being with us this episode. At TantraLiv's Facebook and Instagram, you can come in contact with us. We really want to hear what you think and what you want to hear more about in upcoming episodes. And remember, do you like us? Please give us a star in iTunes.